The pre-classical societies in the central valleys of Oaxaca, Mexico, took just under 10,000 years to settle and only about 1,500 years to develop into a state. This state arose from a complex society that led to the construction of two of the most important cities in Zapotec culture, Monte Alban and San Jose Mogote, located 15 kilometers outside the city of Oaxaca and part of the municipality of Guadalupe Etla. In one of the main archaeological areas in the state of Oaxaca, this site is believed to have been the most developed settlement during the time of great urban centers like Monte Alban during the pre-Hispanic period. It went through several peaks of activity, along with periods of near desertion. In the 18th century, toward the end of the colonial period, it was repopulated after the establishment of the cacique estate, which dominated the lives of the inhabitants until it was later divided. San Jose Mogote has existed for over 3,500 years. It was probably the first village to be established, and also the largest during its time. It boasts land from Guadalupe Etla, the entire San Jose Mogote area, and parts of San Sebastian Etla. This is where the cultures that came before the famous city of Monte Alban were first defined. At its peak, San Jose Mogote served as the head of the Valley of Etla, replete with its own palace, temples, and ball court. The Federal Miguel Hidalgo Rural Primary School was abandoned about 400 years before Christ. Because of its recent organization, it's now an elementary school and is located in the town of San Jose El Mogote. Its goal is to highlight the rich historical and cultural heritage of this area. With the support of parents, the local committee, students, and teachers, we've developed a community and educational project for this purpose. We're calling it Rescuing the Zapotec Heritage of My Grandparents. One of the activities in the project is to recreate possible scenes from the pre-Hispanic Zapotec civilization through dance, highlighting the significance of the treasures found during the excavations in the 1960s. The dances we're bringing back include the rabbit dance, the hummingbird dance, the deer dance, the corn dance, and the fire dance. In the fire dance, we're featuring a replica of the urn from the Brossier, with an anthropomorphic face that represents the visage of a priest. Beloved by the Zapotecs and offered as a sacrifice to the fire god, the dance consists of movements, each with a specific meaning. The squats and serpent-like movements symbolize fertility, while the grounded steps represent the earth and agriculture. The turns signify the air and spirit. The forward and backward steps represent fire, and the zigzagging steps relate to water. There's always a connection to the four elements: water, fire, wind, and earth. This number is also significant in their traditions. Mexican culture also represents the four directions: north, south, east, and west, among other interpretations. Every dance starts with a greeting to the four corners of the universe, where energy and strength are requested for the celebration or event taking place. An offering arrangement called Tlamanali is made, dedicated to the earth. This includes all the elements that symbolize the land through fruits and flowers, the air with the sound of the conch shell, or tecololi, and water, which is always present. Inside this burner, or popoch, a fire burns incense. The clay pot used in this ceremony is a replica of the original one found and can be seen in the community museum. It was discovered in the first mound back in 1960 during the explorations by archaeologists from the University of Michigan, led by Kennedy, with the help of some local residents. In this ceremony, the 6 dances are performed. The first dance, the Tuchli dance, means rabbit. It's a dance dedicated to children and has connotations of fertility. It features the characteristic imitation of a rabbit in nature. The first step, or flower, represents the rabbit's appearance, and it continues to show it looking for food and then scratching the ground before jumping. Witsili means hummingbird. This dance mimics a hummingbird, with the first step or flower being the hummingbird's flapping to land, then moving around, and finally spinning. The hummingbird is flying, and to wrap up the movement, it lands on a branch. Mas alto means deer, and this dance tells the story of the deer's birth, starting as a fawn, jumping around to find food, then lying down to digest. Finally, when it grows up, it has to shed its antlers on a bush. Sentry means corn in Nahuatl, and in its first step, it tells the story of asking for permission to work the land and then planting with a hoe. Then the dance shows planting the seeds, covering them with soil, then asking for rain. Later, the dance harvests the crops, and once they're dry, the corn is gathered from the ground to transport it to be eaten. The fire dance at the beginning tells the story of celebrating the discovery of fire. Eventually, it becomes familiar through the spins and handling of it, leading to a moment of gratitude with movements to the earth. The priestess blesses her presentation for the game Fireball, or Flaming. This sport involved 3 players from each team battling to score the most points, using just a sturdy wooden stick that could withstand fire, as they set the ball aflame to kick off the competition. For the ancient Mayan civilizations, it symbolized a struggle for power and respect, while for the Zapotecs, this game represented the cleansing of farmland with fire.
¡Ayúdame, carrito! ¡Ya te necesito!
Everything was ready for a new planting season. The ceremonial staffs are a symbol of authority, respect, and commitment to the community. Today, the students are handing them over to the local authorities and the ones who will serve as the organizers for the 2024 Patron Saint Festival. Right now, the officer is also receiving a ceremonial staff. All right, take your heart, because the city folks will be the ones handing out these sticks when we have stewards for next year. Let's hear it for them.
En estos momentos el agente recibe también este razón de mando.